All right, next we're going to read about Groundhog Day, which is coming up next week, and we're going to do this little activity, okay? Groundhog Day. So it's just going to tell us what Groundhog Day is, because some friends, I bet, don't even know. And then the animal is a groundhog. This is a groundhog. Groundhog Day is celebrated on February 2nd, which is coming up. Some people believe that on this day of the year, watching groundhogs will help predict, which means tell, when spring will come. So a lot of places where there's snow, they really listen to what the groundhog does on Groundhog Day. When will spring begin? The date of February 2nd is about the middle of winter. Old stories say that if a groundhog sees its shadow on this date, there will be about 6 more weeks of winter. The stories also say that if a groundhog does not see its shadow, spring will come early. And most people that live where it snows want spring to come early because they're tired of the snow. They're tired of being cold. So they want the groundhog to not see his shadow. Groundhog Day grew out of old customs and beliefs. Some ancient people celebrated a spring festival in early February. Many people cleaned their houses and the area where they lived, getting ready for a new beginning, the new spring season. Some people call that spring cleaning. About 1,500 years ago, the people in Europe began lighting candles in the early spring for a new religious celebration. This practice coincided with the older observances that celebrated the end of winter and the beginning of spring. People had always thought that they could predict when spring would come by watching animals. They believed that if a hibernating animal awoke from its sleep in the beginning of February and saw its shadow, there would be several more weeks of winter. If the animal didn't see its shadow, spring would come soon. They watched animals such as hedgehogs, bears, and badgers. When Europeans were coming to North America, some settled in Pennsylvania. They brought with them the tradition of predicting spring by watching the animals. Many groundhogs lived here. Groundhogs are animals that hibernate. It seemed logical to choose groundhogs to predict when spring would come. So to hibernate means they sleep all winter, and they do it under the ground where it's nice and warm. Early in February, people watched groundhogs to find out whether they did or didn't see their shadows. This became a yearly celebration in many places, including the town Punxsutawney in Pennsylvania. So you can actually watch this on the news. On February 2nd, the people go to Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania, and they film, and the groundhog comes out of the burrow, and then you can watch it on TV. In 1886, Clymer Fries wrote in the town newspaper that February 2nd was going to be called Groundhog Day. In Punxsutawney, the special groundhog is always called Punxsutawney Phil. That's his name. There have been many Punxsutawney Phils over the years. And every year on February 2nd, people show up at Gobbler's Knob, just outside of Punxsutawney, to find out whether Phil will see his shadow. High up on the stage, Phil is kept in a burrow under a fake tree stump. The town officials stand up on the stage, and at exactly 7:25 in the morning, Phil is taken out of his burrow, and everyone cheers. If Phil sees his shadow, winter will be longer. If he doesn't see his shadow, spring will come soon. The officials make it look as if Phil whispers to one of them whether or not he sees his shadow, but it's all pretend. Sometimes Phil is right. Other times he's wrong. Lots of people think that Groundhog Day is fun. Here's a little bit about groundhogs. A groundhog is a furry rodent. It is a mammal that can weigh between 5 and 10 pounds, and it usually grows about 20 inches long and has a short tail and short legs. Many people think a groundhog is cute when it waddles around. Like other rodents, such as mice, squirrels, and beavers, groundhogs have large front teeth that are constantly growing. To help them wear them down, groundhogs gnaw, bite, and eat twigs and branches. Their diet also includes leaves, flowers, and berries. Groundhogs are found in parts of the United States and Canada. They live alone in burrows that they dig out with their sharp teeth. Look at their burrow. So they dig their hole. They've got 2 holes. They've got their toilet chamber. They go potty over here. Nobody wants to go potty where you sleep, right? This is where they sleep, in their hibernating chamber. If they have babies, this is called their nesting chamber. They keep their food in here, and then they just sleep regularly in here. When danger is near, groundhogs make a sharp, high-pitched whistle to warn other groundhogs. Some of their natural enemies are wolves, foxes, birds, and hawks. During the summer, the groundhogs eat as much as they can to get really fat. In the fall, they go into their burrows to hibernate through the cold winter months. Throughout the winter, the fat on their body keeps them alive. To save energy, their body temperature drops down and their breathing and their heart rate slows. Let's see. Sometimes mamas have babies in their burrow. So baby groundhogs are called kits, and they're blind when they're born. For the first month, the mother groundhog takes very good care of her babies. When the kits are about 1 month old, they open their eyes and they begin to crawl around in the burrow. When the young groundhogs are 2 months old, they are able to leave their mothers, so they separate from their mothers and they go dig their own burrows. A new generation of groundhogs is ready to care for itself. People enjoy Groundhog Day. Some children draw pictures of groundhogs, have snacks, play games, and play shadow tag. People read stories to children about Groundhog Day. That's what I'm doing. Punxsutawney Phil is a big star. People wait to find out whether or not Phil will see his shadow. There are other famous groundhogs too. Chuck Wood from Los Angeles, Unadilla Bill from Unadilla, Nebraska, General Lee from Atlanta, Georgia, Sir Walter Wally from Raleigh, North Carolina, Staten Island Chuck from New York City. Shubenacadie Sam from Nova Scotia, Dunkirk Dave from Dunkirk, New York, Jimmy from Wisconsin, Wharton Willie from Wharton, Ontario, Balzac Billy from Balzac, Alberta. So there's other famous groundhogs too. Often gardeners and farmers think that groundhogs are pests because they eat their vegetables. Other people think groundhogs are good at tilling the soil when they dig burrows. Even though groundhogs aren't found all over, people all over the United States and Canada celebrate Groundhog Day. All right, so we're going to work on this one now. So it says, wake up, groundhog, come out and see. Sun or shadow, what will it be? So remember, if the groundhog wakes up and sees its shadow, it's going to have 6 more weeks of winter, right? If the groundhog wakes up and doesn't see his shadow, spring will come soon. So over here, we're going to put our picture of spring coming soon. So if spring is coming soon, that means it's getting warmer. That means the snow is going to be melting. So I'm going to show like a spring picture. I'm going to draw, let's see if you can draw yourself in each one. So for my spring picture, I'm going to draw myself wearing clothes that I would wear in the spring. Maybe shorts because it's getting warmer, a short sleeve shirt, I don't need that much warm clothes on, right? What else happens in the spring? Flowers start to grow and bloom. It's warmer, the days are getting warmer. Whoa. Right? Let's see. There we go. Sun is shining. Nice spring day. But if the groundhog sees his shadow, winter is longer. So here I'm gonna draw the ground, but I'm gonna leave it white because I'm gonna pretend there's snow down there. And so my clothes are gonna look a little different. I'm gonna have long sleeve shirts and then long pants. Brr. And maybe I'm gonna give myself a hat because like a little snow hat. It's cold. I'm gonna make my shirt go all the way up to my neck because I got my big coat on, right? And my pants go all the way down to keep my legs warm. And maybe in the winter, you might build a snowman outside in the snow if you live where it's snowing. I'm sad we can't build a snowman out here, huh? He's got his hat on too. I'm gonna draw some snowflakes around me to show that it's cold. Winter is lasting longer if the groundhog sees his shadow. So where we live, our winters aren't that cold, right? But in other places of the world, and especially other places of the United States, people are ready for winter to be over because they're tired of the snow. So they're hoping that Phil does not see his shadow, and that means spring will come sooner. So there you have it. Press pause if you need to finish.